Welcome to Driven, the Unscripted Success podcast, with your hosts, Mike Mannino and Nariman Hamden, bringing you insights and stories on achieving personal, professional, and financial success.
My good friend, my architect, and a new podcaster, Mr. Sal D'Aleo. He's one of the best people I've ever met in my life. He's was one of my students in martial arts for a period of time too. That was fantastic back in the day. Could you do me a favor? Tell me a little bit about yourself, where you're at now, and how you got to where you're at.
So, so first and foremost, like I've always said, I always tell everyone, I'm a proud dad, right? I'm a proud dad. I'm a proud father, husband, and proud dad of two. So that's my always going to be my life's greatest achievement, I'm an architect by trade, and I practice primarily in Michigan and Florida, as you know, and graduated back in 2004, so started practicing pretty much since then. So it's 20 going on 25 years now. 20 years. We've through school and just getting thrown into the industry, not knowing really anything about business. I just started doing what I know best, and that's exercising my design muscles, and in many years understanding how to grow and build relationships, and here we are now. We're we have exposure and we're juggling a few companies to create a design collaborative and extend our reach, and really getting into the growth aspect of things, especially now. Now we're actively practicing and really all mainly the East Coast, but a huge part of it is Florida. We're designing everything from single family to multifamily to commercial. We have guys, they're partners down there. Of course, I'm a registered architect as well. So we have reciprocity. I can get licensed in any state, and so the sky's the limit, it took a good 20 years to kind of set it up, because again, we're not trained, as designers. That's one thing that it was probably my I don't want to call it regret. I don't regret anything in life, but one of my biggest things I was missing was a really good education on business, right? And understanding how to scale, how to invest, how to make, we were just left, and again, naive, thinking I'd get this degree and the world's going to open up, and the reality is that that's not really the case. So it took a lot of trial and error to kind of get to where we're at, and we're still doing it. And I don't think I'll ever stop growing. I don't know if I'll ever officially retire, but now I kind of understand. I like to think these gray hairs have gotten me somewhere, and I like to think that I know how to do this. This business thing a little bit better. That's kind of in the nutshell. We have again an office here in Rochester Hills, Michigan, and then an office in Florida as well. Two really, one on the East Coast and one is on the West Coast.
In Florida, you got two offices, one on the East Coast and West Coast of Florida, and one in Michigan.
Yes,
so you got three offices.
Yes, yeah. Yeah. So, it's been great. And again, the fund or the foundation of all of that was relationship building, right? I mean, we the only way to do that was to meet people, number one, and expand your network. I had no idea, the industry, being an architect, it's not an easily marketable thing. Although social media nowadays changes that dynamic, but I just work was coming in, and then the recession of the way back when in 08 and 09, and we were doing nothing. And I'm like, I can't just rely on work coming in the door. You know what I mean? I gotta go out there and get something. So I had a contact in Florida. hey, I'm licensed there. I can get my license easily. Let's start attacking some commercial work down there. And then, slowly but surely that exploded into what it is now. It took several years, but again, it was reaching out, trying to make a connection, spending that time getting out of like the drafting board and getting out there and network. They don't teach you in school, that how to do that. That's something you learn when you have the fire behind you to know that you have to that you're running a business. Like, oh shit, I have to. I can't just sit here and push the pencil. I have to actually. There's other responsibilities. Let's put it that way.
Is what you're talking about. Yes, exactly. Then speaking of, you talking about being the architect and, and it really doesn't teach you a lot. You learned a lot in the process, right? And, there's a lot of competition in what you do. And you guys are knocking it out of the park. I mean, literally knocking it out of the park. What sets you apart? What do you guys do in business that other people don't, that you see, that makes you so successful?
Well, okay, so we always say, at least when we kind of meet as a team, our first and foremost priority is design quality. So we our solutions, the work we produce for clients, as far as I'm concerned, is of the highest quality. So that's first and foremost. The quality. We're not we're not just a staff of people just kind of doing the bare minimum. We'll always, we'll put in the extra hours, even if it takes going above and beyond our client contracts, to drive it home. Because at the end of the day, that's what sets us apart. Like, to answer your question, whenever we've been compared to or we're going after a contract that is we know that we're against several architects. We'll make sure to even at the proposal stage, man. I'll put a quick sketch design together. We'll render in 3D. These are investments, that you put forward to go above and beyond to show that you are of value. You're not just solving a single problem. You are truly of value, and that's our mindset. We want to be of value to a client. We don't want to just solve their immediate problem or the reason why they're hiring us. Period. I want to make sure that they can come to us and know that we are an asset to be part of their team. And at the end of the day, yes, the design product that sets us apart, I would say, from competition, and we do a good job.
I can attest to that. I've had other architects before, and when I used you on my personal house, I'll never forget. You called me in for a pre-consultation after you did a sketch, and I looked at it, and this was a tough lot. It was narrow, and it had a beautiful view and all this stuff, and I wanted all the rooms to be able to see the lake, and it was a tough design. And then I looked at it and like, man, it's perfect. I think we had 2 changes on the entire site, and you were done in the first shot. So what you just said about adding value, going over and above what most architects do, I can attest to that. I could be your greatest mouthpiece on that. I mean, you did it. I'm picky too. You knocked it out of the park on that one. I thought we'd have 2 or 3 different revisions. Nope, just one. Great job. If someone's listening to us now and they want to get better at the thing you do good at, what do you suggest for them? What is your not one thing, but process, or one thing? What is the thing that you do that you could give to somebody else?
You're saying specifically in my discipline, my art.
It's everything. You're an amazing individual. We've won awards together. And what is it that you could, if you could transfer that to somebody else, sell that to somebody else, would be the thing that you would give them? What's the one thing you'd give them?
Well, you know what? Yeah, that's a tough question. I think I don't know. Whenever I be open-minded, I guess, in the sense that there's a lot of always be humble. I don't know how to explain that, but always that you're not maybe the even if you're competent on something, you're not the expert, and I don't know how to put this. You don't. What I'm trying to say is there's a lot of attitudes and senses of maybe sense of entitlement that a lot of younger generations have. That's why it's kind of hard to hire, because you and even with our younger staff, it's they think they know it all. That's what I'm trying to say, and you don't. You're always learning, right? I mean, you have to keep your mind open to that you might not have it. Even if you have a ton of experience, you might not know the best solution here. So be open to the fact that you can to take criticism and change your mindset, even if you're convinced the solution works. I deal with a lot of consultants. A good example too. Like they not to say anything about engineers, but they can be hard-headed sometimes. They're like, why the hell are you doing this? Why are you doing that? And they're not thinking, okay, well, let's work together on this and open your mind a little bit. It's what's best for us as a team going forward. I guess that mindset is willing to learn, and then just keeping an open mindset that even if you're successful, you have to consider the big picture, kind of a thing, and not isolate yourself to where it's you become, I don't know, stubborn and entitled, and like it's. I don't know if that answers the question, but that's how I like to operate.
I think your humbleness and modesty is one of your greatest attributes, and I think that's what you'd like to pass on to people. You're very good at that. And Elon Musk, when you talk about engineers, Elon Musk said it best: the engineers will optimize the thing that shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
So it's kind of tough to work with somebody that's trying to optimize something that shouldn't be there. It's a tough call. I feel you. I don't deal with a lot of engineers, and it's rare, but you're my favorite engineer. I love it when I call you up and say, hey, I got an engineering problem. You're like, all right, let me 20 minutes. You're all done with everything.
Dude, I appreciate it, man.
There's a reason I had you on this podcast, is because you're exceptional. And that's what I've got. I know a lot of exceptional people, and I want to pass this on to the next generation. So what is one of the biggest challenges you had to overcome in your career? What's the big 08? That could have been it. Touched on it already.
It was thus far. Well, yeah, that was one of them, for sure. Because at that point, I was just more or less fresh from being done with school and the whole licensing thing, and I'm just thinking I know how to design and this and then. Then I realized, okay, there's an economy behind working in the real world. You got to be aware of these things. Why is the house? Why did the housing market crash? Why are there clients in here who want to spend a fortune on designing a huge custom house? Like, what's going on? Oh, wait a minute, I need to go get work. So that was a huge learning curve. Yeah, I mean, dealing with the biggest, and I'm still, you overcome it every day. The pains and the heartaches from being a business owner, that's the biggest challenge. Trying to learn to lead properly, especially when you're trying to scale. We're like scale hungry. We want to explode, and we're looking at acquiring other firms. These guys are transitioning and. That's one quick way to scale your business. So it always comes down to that, the business aspect of it. of it, and the pains of being having to worry about, is there enough work for your staff? Is there, all that that stress is probably the biggest thing. I mean, if I could just sit here and design all day long, I would have, went to work for some big firm and sat in my lane and did my thing and 9 to 5, and it's pretty stress free. Yeah.
It is. But could you do it?
No, I couldn't. No, I absolutely not. I forget it.
That's why you're on Driven Unscripted Success. You couldn't work for somebody if you tried. You have to you have to start off as the architect, then you have to own your own business, and then you got to fight through the business and you have enough work for the guides for the work, and then you got to start scaling. Then you've done a great job from going from Michigan to Florida to the other side of Florida, which is tough. You guys really did a great job. You and your brother too.
I think the biggest thing right now, Mike, just as an FYI, is now I'm at a point where I need to replace myself because I'm realizing, it's time. I'm limited and frankly bottlenecking growth if I kind of stay as the one of the sole responsibilities that manages everything. Like that's kind of my biggest challenge right now. Is getting to that point.
Well, so you have to stop working in your business and start working on your business.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So you got to find someone to replace you, and then you got to work on the business. That's the next step, which is going to be kind of tough. But every step you've done, you've knocked it out of the park. So I'm just going to assume you're going to knock it out of the park on this one.
I hope so. Because that will equal so much, potential and opportunity.
Exactly. It sounds like things are going really well for your business. It sounds like you're knocking out of the park every second of every day. Looking forward to the future, I don't want to bring any more stress on you, but looking forward to the future, I was wondering if, we've had conversation about this creative passive income, and how would you consider doing something like that in your field?
In our field, just simply put, investing profits.
Yeah.
And we talked about this before, and specifically in acquiring assets, so real estate, right? That's kind of the main goal, just to be honest. Taking, being growth hungry and getting a business that generates a ton of as much earned income as I can, and then taking that and pushing it into an investment, and live off and the drip.
The drip. You said something to me earlier that has to be in here, and we were talking about passive income in multifamily. I'm going to use your brother's line on his, but you had a line that kind of stuck with me that was insane. Yeah. You get your tax bill at the end of the year. After making all this money, you got to start paying these taxes. What did you make that? What was your analogy to me on that? That was just great.
Yeah. So we kind of got hit hard in 23, and this is my fault because again, going back to answering your question from before, I the goal would be to limit tax liability as well. And when you profit, you wanna keep it, because so we got hit last year pretty hard, and ever since we did that, and shame on me actually for not being a little bit more active about monitoring that. What's your tax liability, and and so we got the results, if you will, from the filing and stuff, and you're like, oh my God, we just got really burnt here, and I'm thinking, and immediately the image came into my mind, because I don't know, it was the summertime and we were just, doing bonfires and stuff. I'm thinking, like, man, this is like it was like if you show up to a bonfire, in your backyard. I was doing one with the kids and stuff, roasting s'mores, and you just take wads of cash and you're throwing it in the fire, because, you weren't smart enough to reinvest it. So you just kind of blow it, and that's hard earned income, and it it angers you because you're like, man, I if I would have been smart, it would have it wouldn't have to start. If I could actually use kindling and not wads of cash to start my bonfire.
Wads of cash. When you said that to me, we invested in multifamily, and multifamily has certain tax advantages that it really does offset your income. And when you just, I'm going to make a video, I don't know how, but of a dude just grabbing cash, throwing it into the fire. And it's going to be something like, I hate tax season. Just
right. Yeah. That's the vision. It's just like, it always, because you're burning cash, and that it just like, that popped into my head. Like, just as about as it's in my mind, it's the equivalent of like just wasting money that way.
It was when you said that to me, it clicked. I was like, oh my God, that is the greatest analogy. I'm going to literally, I don't care if I have to hire a filthy crew, just going to have some throw money to the pipe. Just say, I hate tax season. And that was, that is going to be, you'll see that in video at one point in our adventure. I can't thank you enough for your time. In wrapping this up, what exciting plans do you have in the works for the next 6 to 12 months? What's your, next year like?
So 2025, we want to be, we want to put the fire pit away. We don't want to have any more bonfires. So that's step one. And so, we're looking to, and my gosh, we're in the fourth quarter now, right? And we're in we want to get our tax liability down. So we're at investing is what I'm trying to say. We're getting our profits invested so we can limit that. Not much money you end up wasting, because it's a waste. I mean, to pay the IRS, to me, it is a waste. So that's kind of first and foremost. But I kind of alluded to before, our growth. Our growth is important. So we're looking to a couple of things I can't disclose right now, but we're looking to scale the business and grab open up to more to buying firms.
Nice.
To be honest with you, to scale that way. And there's a couple of deals we're working on right now. And then again, replacing myself so I can market. I mean, that's one thing, especially with social media now, man. You got to market. And there's some good architects that know how to do it well, and a lot of their business is literally based on Instagram. So like big time. So we're looking to kind of boost our presence. So
beautiful. I like it. Well, thank you, sir, so much. I appreciate your time and everything you do. And just, I hate to say this, being my friend, this is the start off to a new podcast, and I think you're going to add a lot of value to the people that hear this. I was wondering if you could, just tell anybody about yourself, how to get in touch with you, what social media you're on, or your phone number, email address, anything. How would they get in touch with you? I don't know.
You know what? Look up. I appreciate this, Mike. I'm forgive me. I'm gonna try my best at this. So Instagram. Would love to have direct messages through Instagram at it's called the dadccollaborative.com. Okay, that's kind of our Florida entity. I'd like to drive traffic to that as much as possible. You can what is it, direct message and ask for me through that. It's highly monitored, and check out some of our work on that platform.
How about your phone number?
So sure, absolutely. 248-780-0003.
Okay. And then your office, where it's at in Rochester?
So, in Michigan here, where I physically am at. I'm at in Rochester Hills, right, just inside of. We're in a nice building, but if you visit us, we designed this building as well. So, northeast corner of John R. and South Boulevard in Rochester Hills.
The name of it?
It's called Executive Place.
Okay. No, the name of your company.
The Donna Associates. I should know that.
You should. But they don't. That's what I was going for. I'll get them Deanna and Associate.
Yes.
I can't thank you enough. This is a great interview, and I know it's going to add a lot of value to the people that are up and coming. And that's what it says in the good book. We're supposed to pass on our knowledge to the other people. And this is a great
Yes, sir.
And for 20 minutes, you probably gave 20, 30 minutes, probably gave more advice. I have to think of a title for this. And I think it's relationship building. This is one thing that you've done very, very well over years. I enjoyed watching you do it. You knocked it out of the
park. I appreciate you, Mike. It was an honor for you, who's someone who we're not together every day, but every time I've seen you, you're a mentor for sure in my life as well. So I appreciate you, and honored that you wanted me to be on this, man. So thank you. And again, this is one of the relationships I value most in my life. So I appreciate you, bro.
Me also. When we won that award in Detroit Home Magazines, we took a limo and did it up. Great times. Every time I'm with you, I have a great time. Well, listen, I can't thank you enough more of your time. I've taken up way too much of it. I'd like to thank you. Thanks for being on Unscripted Success. I really do appreciate it, brother. I'll sign out right now, and you guys have a great time. If you have any questions, please feel free to call Sal. He's an amazing individual and an amazing architect. If you ever need a great architect, you know where to go. Thanks, Sal.
Thank you, Mike. Thanks.
Thanks for listening to Driven, the Unscripted Success podcast. Want to share your story? Apply to be a guest at drivensuccesspodcast.com/guest.